Bit of a queue to get in here. At least they've got us off the road, which is good. And we're on hard standing, which is good. And the sun is shining, which is good. Here we are then, starting with the Broughton's fleet. Love these Euroliners, they're absolutely spot on. Sadly it was raining most of yesterday, so we ended up sitting in the back with a fire pit on the go. Just shut it up this morning, but they're a great piece of kit. There's the new Mercedes, and when I say new, literally brand fire new. Just come out of paint and been driven from the yard down to here. There's my truck. Obviously the best in show. I'm only kidding. John's Renault. And then the new trailer with the air ambulance livery. And Timmy's Scania, which is a lovely looking thing. Best of luck with that low splitter. I love the wings, the wing tops. Absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, there's the new air ambulance trailer. I think the gaffer said he's getting 5 done. Done it really well though, fair play. They've still incorporated the Broughton's livery, and I like it with all the stripes and dots around it. I think it looks pretty good. But to say the front's green, you don't notice, you know, it's not an ugly transition into it. But yeah, here we are. There's Paul Price and the DAF. Oh, he's proper lashing down. He's been polishing underneath as well all weekend. I think that's Michelle there. The Daggy's Scania. That's a beautiful looking thing. This light isn't doing it much good, but yeah, gorgeous. Couple of key dwells, look. 143 and 142. N12 Volvo. Lovely looking bits of kit, fair play. Some of Stuart Harvey's here, look. These are lovely looking kit. Nice line up there, look. Fair play, always clean and tidy. Lovely trailer. Beautiful. 770. Nice line up there, look. 540s. .660, another 660, R series, Volvo, all looking good, fair play. Few of Sharps, they've travelled a fair way to get down here. Couple more of Harveys. I think they're a bit of a Marmite thing, them T-cabs. Totally impractical for the work that we do. Not a lover of them, to be honest, but it ain't my choice, is it? Now these, old F10, that's a proper old one as well. It's one of the original ones with a flat top. You can see the one on the left there, the other side of the T-cab. See the difference in roofs? Let's see if I can get them both in the same shot. There you go. So the one on the right, the orange one, Broughton Transport, that's an original with a flat roof, look. And then the one on the left, see how the roof is slightly raised? That'll be a later model. That's proper old school, fair play. Lovely looking bit of kit. And then the FL10, yes, a 12, FL12. They're rare. I had one of them. I'll see if I can get a picture of it. If I can, I'll put it up. But I had one of them, but mine was a flat top. That's got a Globetrotter extension on it. Eminox stacks. Proper old school, fair play. And the 12 as well. I'm not sure if that was a, well, it looks like it must have been an actual production one because the FL12 badge looks real. Must have been a bit of an unusual spec. I bet they're pretty rare. I bet there's not many of them left on the road, fair play. Lovely. My mate Mozza in his AJS Globetrotter. He's a bad influence, that man. Made me drink far too much beer last night. Another old beauty there, look. Volvo F88. One of the early ones with a split windscreen. I think the later ones had a single piece windscreen. L-Reds had to make it 1973. So that's what, 52 years old. Jesus, that's in good nick. One of Ralph Davis's old FHs, that's one of the early ones. Beautiful nick. And that's the F10 I showed you earlier on with the slightly raised roof. FH16, jeez, that were the dog's danglies in its day. Anyway, what I wanted to show you were these Yeoman ones over here. There's the F12 Globetrotter, which is nice enough in its own, but the F88, I think that's an 89, because the see how the grille comes forward a little bit? I wonder if you can see it. You can't really see it on the 88 over there, but I think the grille on the 88 was flat and the 89 had that little section put in it. I'm sure Bob Beach will be able to correct me on that. He's the man in the know, particularly on Volvos. Yeah, I remember reading about this in a magazine years and years ago. Fair play, it's a lovely looking thing. It's had a Globetrotter extension on the top and stretch on the back as well. It's immaculate though, fair play. A lovely looking thing. Okay, as it happens, I'd just come around the corner and Mr. Beach has turned up. Welcome, Bob.
Hello.
He's gonna tell us a little story about this 88 because he knows the true history. Go on, Bob.
It was originally bought by a company, an Irish company with a depot in Bristol. They were a big earth moving company called Public Works. It was a standard F88 290 or FB88 290 double drive tracked unit. It then passed on to the late Paul Hammond, who was in charge of the transport side of Yeoman's, the big quarrying people. And gradually it was modified and changed. First of all, they lengthened the cab. It was done by BP Rolls at Andover. And then later they put the Globetrotter roof on it. But most interestingly, it's actually been retrofitted with an F12 400 engine and an SR 1700 gearbox, which is almost impossible in a right-hand drive F88. But it was done by the Volvo dealers at Heathrow 25 years ago. And as a result, it's got 12-litre engine in it, which normally you could only have in a left-hand drive F89.
Right.
But,
and I was just saying, on this 88, on the 89, wasn't the grille
slimmer?
It was different to the 88 in some way, wasn't it?
It was a little bit slimmer. It wasn't so pronounced. But when they made the F88 290, they had to put a bigger fan on it. So as a result, it's got a bigger fan cowling, and that's why it's got a deeper grille.
Ah, right.
But to get that 12-litre engine plus the intercooler and the bigger radiator in there,
Yeah,
was
yeah.
some engineering
Yeah.
job. But they ran it pulling a low loader for many years, and it used to pull a big 2-bed 4 Nicholas low loader moving big quarry dumpers and that as well.
I remember reading about it in a magazine.
Yeah.
What would that be, Truck and Driver or?
It was in trucking.
Ah, right.
And sadly, Paul died a couple of years. Could be 8-10 years ago.
Yeah, somebody said his daughter's looking after it now.
His daughter and I think his grandson. And it's great to see that they've still got they've got the 3 trucks.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but it is virtually unique. But as I say, the cab was done in 2 stages, and then as it's got the 12-litre F12 400 engine in it, which makes it virtually unique in that respect,
Yeah.
like, you know?
Another thing I was asking, or I was mentioning, just round the corner, there's an FL12 for Waze. Was that a production?
Yeah. About mid-90s, they started to offer the 12-litre engine under the FL cab. It was before the FM came out. That one, a Waze, was sold by a friend of mine, Mike Wallington. I used to work with him. I worked with Volvos. And it's got a My Hill airflow cab conversion on it, Globetrotter cab.
Yeah, that's the one.
But Volvo did offer a factory Globetrotter on one a couple of years later.
The only ones I've ever seen was on Dutch flour trucks.
Yeah,
with the Globetrotter.
In Newport had one on a brick and block at drawbar.
Right.
And but one of the things you had with a 12-litre engine, to get it to fit under the FL cab, you had to have a hydraulic gear linkage, and it could be a little bit troublesome. When they got it sorted, it was all right, but there wasn't enough room for a lot of linkage. All right.
Spot on. Thank you, Bob.
No problem.
So that was Bob Beach. All you got to do is mention something to him, and in fairness, he'll have a tale, or he'll know somebody who knows something about the truck, or who sold it, or who bought it, or whatever. He's a proper history book, fair play. Really, really interesting. I love it. When I bump into him in the yard, I can just sit down and listen to the tales he tells. Honestly, he's a proper fella. Anyway, one of my favourite bands there, look, Fleetwood Mac, and airbrushed on the side of this truck. Absolutely stunning. Brilliant job. 750 Volvo. Look at that. Brilliant. They were a troubled band in their day. Wow, fair play. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Another one of Waze orange Volvos there, look, but just thought I'd get you a picture of this gardener's daff. And then they got, there's a T-cab. Naughty boys. Some pictures of the craze on it, look. Fair play. London skyline on the grill there. Some more of Ronnie and Reggie. See the time and effort that the drivers are putting into these, you know, and bringing them to shows. 90% of these will be company-owned trucks, you know, not owner drivers. And fair play, the drivers put their own time and effort into it, keeping them clean and tidy, which is what I mentioned the other day in my post on Facebook about, you know, a lot of us, we live in these trucks. Some of them maybe only you know, drive them on days and they're home every night, but it still doesn't matter. It's their workplace, it's their home, you know, and then you take it in for servicing or MOT or whatever, and not all, but some of the garages and mechanics, they just don't care less that, you know, you do look after them and and all the rest of it. And it's not fair really, because like I say, you know, it's people's workplaces and their homes. But look at them all. You know, all these drivers have spent their own time and effort cleaning them all up, parking them nicely, making them all look good. Me included, don't get me wrong, you know, I've spent a bit of time and effort on mine, but it's because they want to. They've got pride in the truck, pride in the job, pride in the company they work for. It's brilliant to see, fair play. There's the future. An electric DAF 350E. We had an electric Volvo on trial at our place, but I think Bob Beach actually drove it. He'll probably tell us some tales about that if we ask him. And I'm sure when I looked round here yesterday, on the DAF stand, there was two absolutely beautiful. I'm going to show you them Briarwoods in a minute. You can see a 142, 143 at the back there. But yeah, on the DAF stand here, there was two absolutely stunning colours. One was this blue here, look. And the other was a red. Look how the sun gets on that red. The green one wasn't here yesterday, I didn't see that. That's nice as well, mind. But the red, I think that's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that colour. As long as it doesn't rattle itself to bits and the engine sound like a bag of spanners, they're a good truck, and the cab itself is absolutely amazing. If you want to see the inside of one, I've done a video on, I think the first trip I did for Broughton's was in an XG Plus actually. That's a stunner, that green one. And yeah, the living space is amazing, it's huge. Yeah, that red colour and that blue, fair play. Anyway, let's have a look at these Briarwoods over here. Did say I'd show you them. These always look good, but I didn't realise they had some old stuff as well. And I had a walk up here yesterday. There's a, oh, I'm sure it's a 141 and a 142. Yeah, there's a 142 there, and the old 141 over there, look. That's a beauty, that. Old 142 V8. Proper job. That was the dog's absolute danglies in its day. No high roof, look. Flat top. 142 V8. 420 horsepower. It was the absolute mutts nuts. Proper job, fair play. That is a lovely truck. Inside looks good on it as well. Left hook of that one. And then the predecessor to that, of course, is this one, the 141. That's a beauty and all, isn't it? The state of that. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a V8 as well. Left hooker. Beautiful thing. Huge amount of trucks here this weekend with high-abs and stuff on them. Look at these boys here. Look at the height on the high-abs. They're absolutely massive. These guys are always neat and tidy, look. Gladiator there, that first one, that's a beauty. West Country Golf. Always look well, fair play. Wow, look at the chassis on that. Jesus. He's done well on that, fair play. And that one. I think they get serviced where I used to take mine sometimes down at Scania at Shepton Mallet. I've seen one or two of them in there. Bit of the Monex fleet there. Some unusual stuff, big cranes and different stuff. Different trucks. Scania, Volvo, DAF. Nearly back at the camp now. There's a 2800 daft. I had one of them when I first started. I think it was about the third or fourth truck I had. There's Bob Beach again. Mine was an ATI, which was the next version up from that. 16-speed gearbox. My head is only just off the roof, and in its day, this was a huge cab in its day. I said mine had electric windows. He said no, it'd be the same as mine. It's only electric on the passenger side, and the driver's side is still a windy one. Look, old tachograph, massive steering wheel, manual gearbox. What a piece of kit! It was absolutely, in its day, this was the thing to have. Look at the vision out of it, man. It's crazy. What a lovely piece of kit. I'm sure the fuse box used to be under this bit. No fridge, no air conditioning. There you go, 2800 DAF. Here we are then, back at the camp. That was a quick tour of Truckfest South West 2025. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Don't forget to check back next week, because I believe I'm taking this trailer to South Wales to load for Scotland, tipping in Scotland and reloading in Scotland for Spain. I think he said Madrid, but I can't remember. So please check back next week. Follow us on the socials. There'll be updates most days on Facebook. But there you go. Thank you very much. Over and out.
Rolling down the highway, the sun shining bright. My Scania V8's roaring, what a glorious sight. With a heart full of freedom, I'm feeling alive. The wind in my hair, oh, what a vibe. Through the fields and the valleys, the landscape unfolds. Me and my truck, telling stories untold. From the mountains of Norway to the shores of the sea. When I'm in my cab, you know